Welcome, Tiger fans. I'm Logan Ball, and we're joined by Coach Smith today. A little bit of different circumstance, obviously, Coach, but just kind of to get started, what's life looking right now as the head wrestling coach of Missouri Wrestling?
I've been demoted to the kitchen with a little table here and for my desk. And my daughter came back from New York City about 2.5, 3 weeks ago. We got her out of there. And so she got the office, and somehow I've been demoted to the kitchen. But this is where my desk is, and a little bookshelf here. And so, but doing good and enjoying the family time.
So kind of looking at that, how's the team holding up? You talk about the family, your other family away from the house. How's the team doing?
The team's doing great. We have Zoom meetings every week, and I even, so getting that contact with each other. We also set up if guys have injuries or problems with their bodies and stuff that they need to do rehab and stuff. Dr. Tarbucks and Mitch, our trainer, and Mike Larson, our strength coach, get on an extra Zoom. And it's just if they want to get on there and they just talk about things and things that they could be doing and coming up with a process of things they can do around the house to do rehab. So we have that going on too. We have challenges throughout the team. Guys are throwing in videos and different things on the group meet of what they're doing every day to train. And then we're reading, we have a part of the discussion during the weekly meetings. I just discuss a book that Mind Gym, and then I'm also throwing in chapters from another book that they can read that relates to Mind Gym. So just things like that they can listen to and develop their minds and also what they're doing on their own with their physical part. So it's really been productive. And the other cool thing is I've had a guest speaker on every Zoom, which the first week we had Ben Askren on, and he did a talk about adversity and different things. And then this past week we had Jaden Cox on, and Jaden talked to the guys about what's gone on with him and dealing with the Olympic trials being canceled and the Olympic Games being postponed a year. So it's been really some good stuff. And of course we get some fun stories in there too, so I can tell them that they were actually college students and actually went through things here at Mizzou. So it was good for all our guys to hear. And every week I'll have a different guy on, and it's been unbelievable. Whenever I ask one of the former guys, they're pumped to get on. So I know they're all sitting at home looking for something to do then. So I'm getting them on pretty easy.
Kind of looking back at the end of the year, it's obviously unprecedented times with the NCAA is getting canceled. And that obviously didn't hit harder to anyone more than the three seniors who didn't have the chance. What's your message been to those guys and getting to talk with them? What's that feeling been?
Probably, I know they're disappointed when I talk with Connor and Dylan Wisman, guys like that had an opportunity to compete as seniors at the NCAAs. They're crushed, and they were crushed when we had to tell them that day. And then they had this, built up almost like a confidence that, man, we're going to get another opportunity. Something else is going to happen. We might get this year back. And it went on and on. And then, the article comes out and it says that winter sports are not going to get it. That I think they just have to move forward. And I think they have. I think when I was texting back and forth with Connor and talking with him, and he mentions that, he's here next year. He wants to be involved. He wants to move forward. And if it means helping coaching or doing something through his MBA program that he can help promote the program or do something for the program. So I can already tell through his mindset that he's moving forward and thinking of how can I help the program now that I'm done with my wrestling career. It isn't easy, but they're moving forward. And I get that from all of them, that it's time to move on.
And kind of looking forward, moving on, you have a stellar recruiting class coming in next year. I know it's awfully early, but what can you say about looking forward to the 2020-21 season?
It's exciting. We got a couple guys that are #1 recruits in the nation coming in at their weight classes. So with Rocky Elam and Keegan O'Toole, and you got then with Josh Edmond coming down from the Detroit Catholic up there in Michigan. He's ranked second, third, or whatever at his weight. And there's a bunch of others, a bunch of in-state guys, a couple other guys from other states. So it's a very talented class. And that's that's always exciting. It's right now the frustration is when I was talking to a bunch of them the other day, and I just said, man, I had them on a Zoom meeting together, and I was just going, I'm looking forward to coaching you guys and not just talking to you like we're here at the Brady Bunch and we're all looking up at each other. But usually they're getting ready to come here in another 2 months. The first week of June, they'd be starting summer school, and we're hoping that's still going to happen, so we can get them on campus and get them training in the weight room and getting them in the wrestling room and classroom and just getting adjusted to college life. But if it doesn't happen, we'll find ways. I know we're staying busy with the things we're doing with our team now. We're finding ways, and I think that's got to be the attitude of these young kids coming in and the older guys. Just the attitude's got to be, we got to find a way to just get better. There's ways to do it. You can sit around and be lazy, or you can get doing things, from reading books and doing, whether it's push-ups and pull-ups in your backyard and sprints and hills, and whatever it can be, you can do it. And stance in motion. I told them I learned how to wrestle getting off a job. I would get off my work when I was learning how to wrestle in Long Island, New York, where I would spend my summers with my cousin. I would be doing stand-ups on a wall and wrestling in the grass if I couldn't find a mat. So there's a way to do it. And I know I've seen some video. My team has been very adventurous in some of the things they've been doing to get better in their sport.
And when you look at some of those guys that will be returning, is there anyone that Tiger style fans can look for that maybe, will be on the rise next year that you think is really going to take off?
Oh, there's a bunch of them. You saw the way Alan Hart ended his season, winning 10 of 12 of his matches and just stepping up and figuring it out. And so he's back. You got, Grant Leith is coming back for another year. So, it'll be, I think, his 7th year in college, but he's coming back with, I don't know how many injuries, but then you go through Brock and Jared. It's exciting. It's exciting times. Peyton Mako, as a freshman, gets the at-large bid, and after getting upset at the conference, didn't let it hold him back, comes back, wins all the matches, and qualifies the spot, and gets an opportunity, but it gets taken from him. But I've already seen video of him up there in Wisconsin doing some training. That he's gonna be a year older. And you keep going through the lineup with, Jeremiah Kent, who really had a stellar freshman year, but, looking forward to see where his growth will be as a sophomore next year. And then we returned Wyatt Coling, who qualified for nationals, and then we were redshirting Zach Elam. So when you go through that, it's exciting. I get pumped up. I'm fired up when I was making the schedule and knowing that probably our home opener is going to be against Virginia Tech in November. Not sure the exact date, but that's a big duel right out of the gate, and that our fans can get excited for. And then we'll end the season in St. Louis with the Nationals being at Enterprise. That's if that doesn't fire you up, man, I'm pumped right here sitting in the kitchen. So it's exciting.
And I guess, Coach, my final question is just kind of reflecting back on the 1920 season. When you think about that, maybe 10 years down the road, what's the one thing about this season that you're going to remember the most?
Probably the word growth, that you can become, sometimes in coaching or in parenting or whatever, you can lose your patience and then you figure out that doesn't work. And learning to have patience and learning that growth is a part of becoming successful, and just seeing the way this team didn't get negative with each other. They stayed positive throughout the whole season, and you got to travel with us and you got to see that there were some tough losses and some difficult times, but every time they would get back in the practice room and want to grow, and they just stuck with each other. They were bound together as a good team, and I just saw that with a young team like that, and with the senior leadership. What Dylan and Connor did with their leadership was really important to that. Probably both of them I know Connor's in the MBA program, and I think Dylan's going to be around too, still in grad school. So having them still a part of the team next year, it's going to be about growth. And we're challenged now, that the growth now from that season and how we had to grow and how they got better and better and won the MAC championship, but then fell short because of something that was out of their control. They didn't get an opportunity to finish in the top 10 or where they were going to finish as a team. So with that, are they going to sit around and not do anything, or are they going to grow from it? And I think that's the word that we talk about a lot as a program.